Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
are we gonna cast Loki?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, he's my friend. He's from Chile. He's one of the best Zergs I have known.
Oh.
Oh yes, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, yo, Chile turned up today. 2 Chileans in the semis. Not bad.
Lucky has been playing a lot lately. He's been playing for like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
The best MMR he achieved was like 5.6. And
Ooh.
yeah, he's a tough guy. He's got like 500 APM. He can do a lot of things at the same time. But it's chaos, you know. It's chaos there. He's a talented young boy.
Mhm.
Let's see if Lucky can keep it up.
Definitely. He's up against a pretty strong opponent. It was a series that unfortunately we didn't get to cast, but Kaozfate went up against Ryu in the quarterfinals, and that was like an intense matchup. Went all the way to the ace match, and now he's made it all the way here to the semifinals. Here we go. We're loading into game 1, and it is going to be on Blackburn.
Oh my goodness. And you know, guys, he's the one. He's the one Zerg player representing himself on the bottom right corner. He is Loki.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Peruvian Terran. He is blue, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kaozfate.
Oh yeah, baby. Right now, everything's starting to go standard. No cheese, no quesito, nothing. Everything's going smooth. The hatchery is on the way. Probably my company, G-Cruise, is going to be standard also. So I'm pretty excited to see how these guys are going to start making their own decisions on the mid game. Let's see if there's any Widow Mines, Hellions, maybe Helvet Push. You know, so many possibilities in this game.
Definitely. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm a little bit worried for Loki because like I want to see him. I want to see him do well. I haven't been able to cast Loki before, but we're on Blackburn. Like I don't know, man. ZvT. I feel like it could be hard for Zerg on a map like this.
Yes, the choke points, the Mutalisk are not very effective. It's just Terran. It's so easy for him to domain all the possible engagements that can occur on this map. So Loki, let's see how he can handle this.
Exactly. It's one of those things where I feel like standard Zerg play can struggle, but maybe something like, I don't know, like a Roach push or a Roach all-in or something like that can do well on a map like this. There are definitely different angles. You can bust down the rugs, you can potentially hit the third base. The rush distance by ground is pretty short, so there's opportunities for other styles to work here.
Yeah. Loki, I know him. He never makes roaches against Terran unless he knows he's been all-in or the Terran is playing mech. Those are the two options. But he always goes for the Muta play. He always likes Link Baneling. I'm pretty sure we're going to see that from him.
Okay. We'll see what he has to show here. And yeah, it's great to see Loki here once again. Like it's cool to see him performing well, making it here to the semifinals. I want to see what he has to offer against Kaozfate, because Kaozfate opening up, you know, with a pretty economic opening, going for that fast 3rd CC before Starport.
Yeah, and that third CC, it can be a little bit greedy, but it seems like he knows who's playing against. I mean, these guys are from Latin America. They face each other every time on ladder. Perhaps he already knows about Loki's style. He knows that he likes Mutas, he likes Link Bane, and he likes to go for a macro playstyle. So he can take these types of risks because he already has some intel about the player. But it's a very risky move. Imagine if this guy goes roaches. Damn. I don't want to imagine it.
Yeah, exactly. Like again, like 1-1-1 is okay against that, right? Because you have your ability to go into banshees and stuff like that. But as you said, a roach push would have been devastating here for Kaozfate. Oh, as we do have a bit of a pause here. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Maybe he's gonna grab a cup of alcohol or something. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This guy is well known for doing those things in order to play better. I don't know how he does that. I remember once I played like on the Hangover.
Uh
It was just horrible. I couldn't play. It was suffering. Like you think that you can perhaps do things that you don't do when you are on this type of alcohol, drug, and stuff. No, it's completely a lie. You just suffer more.
huh.
Yeah, I don't recommend you guys be healthy. Don't be like CristianoX. Just play like any other person would. Yeah,
I was about to
that's my
say,
advice.
don't play like Cristiano. Don't play like Kaozfate either. It's great that you brought it up. I know we have a lot of new viewers here, but Kaozfate has been known to play while hungover and play while having a couple too many drinks. And sometimes
And
during
he
the
keeps,
most. Go ahead.
yeah, he keeps the level. That's the thing. It's part of him. It's part of his blood.
It's awful, mate. It's awful. He's done it during DreamHack qualifiers. He's done it during like the biggest Peruvian events as well. It's like, mate, what the hell's going on with you, Kaozfate? Like,
Yeah, it's just part of his personality.
yeah.
And he's so talented. He's able to do it anyway. Not many people can do this and keep up at the level that he's playing. So it's something that you have to respect from him.
Is it something that you have to respect? Like, I don't know.
Early in the game, the other part of his life, I don't know. That's personal opinion. I don't want to say anything. But yeah, on the game, yeah, it could be.
Shaking my head, Kaozfate, shaking my head. Oh god. But it looks like whatever the issue was, it has been resolved. We're getting back into this game. And also, shout out to Lord Loki, Fernandoc in the chat, gifted you a sub, Cristiano. To the CranKy Ducklings. He gifted you a sub.
Nice. Thank you, man. You're making this community even bigger. So welcome.
Yes. Thank you so much, Cristiano. He can now spam those ducks in the chat. And
yeah. Love you, mate. I'm gonna give you some alcohol. No, it's gonna be a good party.
Oh god. My question is, Cristiano, have you ever casted while drunk? Has that happened yet?
Never. I don't want to do anything stupid on camera.
Yeah.
I have my ethics. Yeah. But you know what? Talking about the game, it's very sad to see Ducky on block supply right now because he's delaying a lot of his technology, a lot of his queen production. The fourth base should be up and running, but because of this supply block, he's gonna suffer a bit. Now the Hellions get in and they start to get some juicy shots. 9 drones to kill. At least those Hellions are gonna disappear, but they traded really well.
Oh yeah. That they did. 10 drones in total went down. A couple of lings as well. Thankfully, the queens are in position, so they didn't get the entire mineral line, but it was very well worth it for Kaozfate to trade his Hellions like that.
That Liberator, there's a Viking pilot on that Liberator because he just started shooting at the Overlords. He didn't care about the drones. He just wanted some shots. And at the same time, some Zerlings trying to be annoying. As you guys can see, Kaozfate is just too good. Now let's see if these links can get some damage done. And as you guys can see, the Marines are not prepared for this. He's gonna get a couple SCVs, a couple supply depots, which is completely nice for only 6 links. But he needs more, he needs more in order to stabilize in this game. Because now Kaozfate with his macro, he's gonna be up in supply.
Exactly. What I will say is that those things dealt a surprising amount of damage. I didn't expect them to get 3 SCVs and a couple of depots, so that wasn't bad. Meanwhile, at the same time, as we were distracted by that run by, the Liberator tried to get in and it got sniped by the Queens before it was able to siege up. So at least Loki was able to deal with that harassment. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I love how my lovely Peruvian player is, is doing, because he made a wall at the third. That's something you don't always see from Terrence,
Mm.
and that is a very nice detail. The great Chinese wall. I don't know how to say it in English. Hopefully, you guys can understand.
The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China. There
The
you
Great Wall of China. Yeah, that's it.
go. Oh god. Meanwhile, the Marines are pushing forward. Yo, Bailing's speed is not done, by the way. The Queens are isolated and they get picked off.
Yeah, and now all the Marines are starting to do the damage that they want. As you guys can see, the upgrades are doing the effect. Drones are getting killed. No drones are able to mine at the natural, and the aggression keeps on going.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, at the same time, a slow Bailing run by the Bailings. Oh my god, they get in. 11 SCVs go down.
And those are the types of moves that we need to see from Loki. Now the drop, once again, starts to do some damage. It's gonna delay a gas from the main, and the Bailings are still slow Bailings.
Exactly. It took, like, again, Bailing's speed was so late here. Finally, it's going to come in, though. Thankfully, it should be ready for that next attack. Loki has survived. And what's important is that, sure, he lost a couple of queens, but he didn't lose too many more drones.
Yeah, he didn't lose many drones, but there was a lot of mining time that was delayed because of the drop. And you have to keep in mind that Loki's playing on 4 bases, but in reality, only 3 bases are mining. On the other hand, our Terran player already has the 4th base up and going. So it's not a very good spot for Loki. He needs to be efficient. He needs to take some economical damage in order to stabilize. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a bulldozer over him.
Yeah, and again, Kaozfate, he's here, he's across the map, he sieges up his tanks. Unfortunately, there's no creep here. So, oh my god, he's forced to go off creep with the Zing Bane.
Yeah, a nice trade for the Terran player. He's able to kill almost all the Banelings, and he's also able to just escape from that attack. Let's see now if Loki can get some juicy shots. Oof, that was very close.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit unfortunate. Again, Loki, he's forced to fight off of creep here, so Kaozfate can have an easier time avoiding those Baneling connections. Meanwhile, another drop. More queens go down.
Yeah, now the drones are really exposed. Only a couple Zerlings trying to defend this marine drop, but the queens arrive just in the nick of time. And I love how Loki, despite his disadvantage, is defending very, very well. And now 14
Oh my god!
Right from the Damn, he's suffering from these Banelings.
Yeah, the Baneling
Not
run
able
by
to respond.
They're the MVP here for Loki. They're keeping him in this. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the momentum to go for a counterattack. At the same time, another drop here, but yo, look at the burrow!
Ooh, and does the Terran player know this? Does Kaozfate know the drones are borrowed?
He doesn't know. He doesn't realize, so he hasn't dealt with them. And yeah, yo, some nice moves by Loki.
Yeah, no one expects that. It was very cool to see. Oh my god! Nice detonation from Loki, and desperately a Terran player starts to scan all over the map to see if there is any other Baneling mines. He's gonna get a couple overlords now. Loki's gonna be on supply block. It's bad and it's getting worse. Let's see if Loki is able to defend this attack.
Exactly. At the same time, bit of a drop. Loki does trade a little bit inefficiently there, and the Marines are forcing him back. At the same time, Loki has to be careful with this main push. He's morphing in a couple more Banelings. Oh, he even has the Ultra Cavern on the way, but he still needs a little bit more time to get those Ultras out.
Yes, he needs to buy time. He knows it. That's why he's not still attacking at this army. But he's also got a nice concave, as you guys can see. He's trying also to do a counter attack and see if he can make any economical damage. But the Terran player is already prepared for this. Let's see if the Banelings can make some juicy shots on the Widow Mines. No, that's just a nice split from the Terran. What a micro god.
Yeah, Kaozfate, he splits just in time there. At the same time, he hasn't really pushed forward with these tanks. Because of that, Loki has gotten a lot of time here to get his upgrades up and running. 3-3 Ultras are now on the way. Kaozfate not really pulling the trigger here, just waiting for his reinforcements.
Yeah, he knows that he can attack in 2 places at once, because Loki's macro is just too bad. It's too low economical. economic wise. Now the attack on the main base is starting to do a lot of good jobs on the queens. Oh my god, this is starting to get more and more intense.
Yeah, exactly. Loki, he's spread too thin. He finally forces a pickup here, but at the same time, we have a massive army here towards the northern side of the map. There is Ling Bane in position, so maybe Loki can try and catch this on siege. God, oh god.
Yeah, he desperately needs a fifth base, needs to take the gases on the fourth. Let's see if the Widow Mines can do something. But those were just nice connections. One of the Widow Mines, though, did a lot of damage to the Marines, but it was just enough in order to take all the defenses from the fourth base. Now it's a little bit exposed, forces the Zerg to move to that fourth base, and now the third base is exposed. Terran's just everywhere.
Yeah, he's all over the place here again. More reinforcements here to push through into that third base or the natural as well. Behind this, Kaozfate, he takes the gold. He has another CC and another ready to go. Like, he's crazy with his expansions. Earlier on, Loki was doing a really good job with his bailing run bys, but we haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah, now he's just trying to defend as much as he can because he knows that the Terran players is 200 population, and now the engagement comes in. The Ultralisk are doing such a nice job against the Marines, but is it gonna be enough? Let's see if the split of this Terran player is going to be enough to kill those Ultralisks.
Yeah, it just goes to show how much like upgrades and supply Kaozfate has, because Ultras, they don't do well against pure Marine, but Kaozfate held anyway. Another drop here, and just Loki just needs more supply. He just needs just more numbers.
Yeah, I really don't know how Loki's still alive. Yeah, I mean, you gotta give him a prize or something. You gotta give him money. I really have to congratulate him. With so little, he's been able to stay alive. The problem is he's just now getting the fifth base, and it should be a Zerg at 6 bases. And the Widow Mines, it's such a nice trade. And now the Ultralisk, they get caught up by the army of the Terran player, and I think this is gonna be the last push.
Yeah, exactly. Kaozfate, he's maxed out on 200 supply. Loki, he's struggling to even get half of that up and running here. Liberators are coming in as well. There's no anti-air, only queens to defend for Loki, but he's gonna try.
Yeah, now the queens are on the third base in order to try to snipe those liberators. If those queens die, it's just gonna be impossible for Loki to defend this. The liberators are too strong. Let's see if the Balins get the connections they need. And no, just simply too good micro from the Terran player.
Yeah, exactly. Stims on 4. The Ultras are busy here dealing with the drop, not with the main army. GG gets called, and Kaozfate takes game number 1.
Yeah. It was so unlucky for Lucky to get supply blocked. It was just in the neck. It was such a exact timing from the Terran player. When he attacked, Lucky was supply blocked, and it was just a nightmare from that point.
Definitely. But there was some nice moves from Loki though, like the bailing run bys, the borrowed bailings as well, like the borrowed drones to avoid the drops. Like there was some nice moves, but as we saw, like he really struggled to keep up with the macro of Kaozfate.
Yeah, and now we're on second game, right? This is the second game. Yes, I want to see Loki go for that Mutalisk play. He loves to do that. I always see him go for those Mutalisks. I think it's gonna be a really comfortable place for him. I think he did not opt for Mutalisk on this map because Blackburn has a lot of slow how do you say these things that make the units slower?
Slow zones.
Yeah, the slow zones. Yeah, there's a lot of them on this map, so it's more easier for the Terran player to defend the Mutalisk attacks. So I think that's why he made that strategical choice, which is a very reasonable one. But now I want to see which map they're gonna play. And I seriously, I need to see those Mutalisks. He's just a god. He's like the son of Jadong.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Big moves there. Big words, I should say, because, mate, are you gonna say that Loki has better mutas than Jim Rising?
That's debatable. Yeah, that's debatable.
I was about to say, look, I thought Jim was the Muta King in Latin America, but apparently Loki's pretty good as well.
Yeah, Loki's very good at. The thing is, Jim Rising, he goes for the macaco moves. He goes for these types of moves that no one expects, and they are real good moves because nobody ever thinks about it. Like if you go for mech, no Zerg is going for mutas because Thors are just gonna wreck them all. But he goes for it anyway, and Jim Rising is able to catch the Terran in surprise, and kill him there. So I think that's the difference between Jim Rising and Loki. Loki's a more reasonable player. He goes for the standard Mutalisk openers. He does not go for those crazy plays like Jim Rising. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where that's the other great thing about Latin America is that there are a lot of like stylistic players here in this region. There are players that are known for certain things. Jim Rising with his mutas. When it comes to Ryu, I would say him with his like lurkers and Nidus. Loki, he also has a chance to make a name for himself here. And we'll see if he can fight back as we are loading in to game number 2.
Oh yes, spawning at the top right corner. He is the Zerg player directly from Chile, my beloved country. He is Loki.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Peruvian Terran. He is blue, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kaozfate.
Oh yeah. And once again, no weird attempts from both players. They go for the standard play. They want to assure a mid-game transition, and it's gonna be a complex game.
Definitely. I do want to say that Loki, I think he's going to feel a lot more comfortable on a map like 2000 Atmospheres. Again, I am shocked in a best of 3 that Blackburn made it through the vetoes. I'm like, mate, like Terran pushes, they hit so hard on a map like that. It's so small, like their rallies just go across the map so quickly. So yeah, I do think that he has a better chance here on this map.
Yeah, right now, I'm really excited to see that Loki once again he's comfortable with going with these types of builds, just the standard build. He's not really afraid about Kaozfate's MMR or Kaozfate's history in StarCraft 2. He's just like, you know what? Let's play like a ladder game. Let's go for it. If things happen, they're gonna happen. If not, I'm just gonna play another game macro. He's always been this type of player that just goes on no matter how hard it is, and I really love that from him.
Yeah, exactly. It's very like respectable, right? He's like, you know what, you do you know, I wanna test my skill against yours. I'm not gonna try and go for a cheeky win or anything like that.
Yeah, that's his mentality, and that should be the mentality of a StarCraft player who wants to learn the game, you know? Because if you want to learn the game, you should be doing those types of moves. Don't go for the all-ins on the ladder. Every time I play in ladder, there's just all-ins. So please, guys, go for macro.
You're like, everyone should be playing like Loki, all right? No cheese, you know, no rush, 15 minutes, let's go.
Although it's very annoying to play against these types of strategy where you take proxy reapers or marauders or the circles for the 12 pool, you know, the typical cheeses that you see on NA. It's part of the game too, so you have to learn how to play against it and how to do it as well. And it will make you a complete player because you will have all the possibilities and the opponent will not be able to predict your moves. You will be very versatile, so you guys should practice that if you want to play any tournaments.
Exactly. And on the flip side of things, like, it's also this weird thing where like there are some like standout players who have made a name for themselves off of cheese, but they're few and far between. Probably the biggest one is like Haas, right? For a long time, Haas was like,
yeah. You just said it. You don't have to explain anything. Haas. That's it. You no longer have to say anything. Everybody knows what you're trying to say.
People like Haas gave Protoss a bad name, you know, like.
Yeah, you're completely right. I cannot disagree with you.
Oh god. So there are definitely like pro players out there who do nothing but cheese and they do well with it. But of course, even Haas, like nowadays in the past 2 years, I think you would probably agree with this, he has been cheesing less and he has been like playing longer, more like macro games recently, and he's good at it as well.
But the macro games are like very unique also.
True.
That's the interesting about Haas. Even the macro games, he makes his own moves. Like I remember one time against Cure, I think, he did a third Nexus. Like he only had one gate and he went for third fast Nexus.
Yeah.
And this guy Cure was not able to respond against it. He was like, "What? How do you have so many units?" And he was like attacking on the standard timing, and it was because Haas was already on 3 bases. He was like, "What? Are you serious?"
He's been really greedy recently, where he just gets a lot of bases quickly, gets a lot of workers out as well. It's been insane. And I would love to talk more about Haas, but talking about this game, we had a very fast armory. We have a hell battle in, mate.
Oh no, I think it's not an all-in. It's just an attempt of trying to delay the third, because as you guys can see, he's making a third command center. So although it's heavy aggression, oh my god, the Banings are doing a great job at defending this. All the DPS was very excellent, and now the Zerlings are gonna finish the job, and the Queens are gonna let this attack just go where it has to be.
Exactly. I think what's important is that even though Loki didn't scout the armory, he wasn't being too greedy. The Baneling nest was on time, right? He has some safety Banelings morphed in as well, even though he didn't see the army. Like, he was ready to go. He had his queens in position as well. He defends beautifully, and in the end, this didn't get any workers, didn't hurt the threat at all.
If you guys are asking yourselves, how did Loki defend it so well? It's because of his Zerlings. As you guys can see, there's 2 Zerlings, one on the possible third base, and the other one at also another possible third base location. The Terran has not even attempted to take the base just yet. So Loki knows something's going on, something aggressive. He just does not know what it is. That's why he made a lot of queens in order to respond against any battle cruisers, any Hellion harass, and he also made Banelings if it was some type of Hellbat push. And he just predicted one of the best Terran players in Latin America, so congratulations to him. Now he's in a very good spot. Let's see if he can counterattack the third base and defend his Liberator.
Definitely. As already a good start here for Loki. Can he keep it up? He does have plenty of queens here in position. He has to take a couple of losses.
At least he didn't give up any drones. Only 1 queen. That's nothing to be afraid of. Once again, we're seeing the Burrow upgrade.
I love it. We have Burrow once again. Liberated will finally go down. It only got 1 queen in the end, but this is scary. We have a follow-up push, and again, the creep spread has much to be desired here in this location.
Yeah, the problem with this push is that if this gets taken out, oh my god, the Zerlings get a nice surround on the tanks, and this is what I was talking about. How is the Terran player going to defend his third if these units get killed? Now the Banelings are going to start to play a very important role, and let's see if he can defend that 4th base.
Exactly, the Lings are catching these reinforcements. So many Marines are going down for free. Meanwhile, it looks like the 4th base will go down, but Loki, he traded well, and he's not stopping. He's going all the way towards the 3rd.
Yeah, and he's going directly to the SCVs. He knows that with the queens, he's going to be able to defend this. And now the Terran player is forced to try to micro against the Banelings, but nice kite from the Terran player, and 8 more SCVs went down, I think. Yeah, And it was a nice trade, but I think the Terran got the better trade, because now he's going for that fourth base, and he's been able to survive this push from Loki. And I'm very
Yeah.
surprised to see that Loki does not have many units.
Yeah, exactly. The Lings that were going for that counterattack, they go clean up. Meanwhile, another Baneling run by. Ooh, a couple actually get buried in the middle line. I love it.
Yeah, and he's able to get a couple more SCVs. That third command center's very, very low HP, so he needs to be repaired. And let's see if this engagement is gonna be able to do any sort of damage. And the micro from the Terran player. Oh my god, is this innovation?
Mate, the splits are beautiful there. That's why we call him Latin American Beyond, mate. Kaozfate is crazy with the Marines. Forces to cancel on the fourth base. Loki is still stuck on 3 bases, mate. And as you were saying, Kaozfate, his fourth is about to finish up, and he just keeps pushing forward with his Marines and his tanks.
Yeah, he's not stopping. He simply has a better macro play, and his micro is really insane. The Banelings are not able to get the connections that they want. The tank soaks up a lot of Baneling nest, and now, how is he going to defend this?
Exactly. The Marines, the Banelings are all gone. The Queens are falling as well, and GG gets called. Kaozfate takes the 2-0.
Yeah. Loki did his best job, but he was not able to get the win. I was so upset though. How is he not having the amount of units that he needed? He was in such a nice position, had more drones. He was able to take the fourth. I'm really surprised to see Loki get killed, by these pushes from the Terran player.
Yeah, like it started really well for Loki, right? Where if you remember when the push happened after that Hellbat push, he caught both the tanks, right? That was huge, and then he caught a bunch of reinforcements. Maybe he overextended a little bit by trying to take out the third base. Maybe it would have been better to come back and deal with the push and try and get your fourth base up and running, because at the end of the day, like, he ended up losing all those Lings and he was stuck on 3 bases, right? He was really struggling to have the larva to keep going. Maybe he missed some injects as well. It's hard to say. He was losing Queens. He was doing his best to hold on, but Kaozfate's just so good.
Yeah, I completely agree. Kaozfate just simply outplayed him. Although he was on a bad position, just because he's got better techniques at macro and micros, decision-wise, he was able to come back from that game. But I'm pretty sure that Loki is gonna learn from this game. He's actually now talking to me. He's like, "Man, what did I do wrong?" I'm like, "Yo, you had everything. Dude, you were doing it so well." I'm gonna see the replay after this. I'm going to see the replay with him.
Oh god, exactly. There's a lot to learn from that, I feel. And I think what's important is that, as you said, it wasn't completely one-sided. There were moments there in both game 1 and game 2 where Loki was doing the right moves. And I do think that if he continues on this path, continues practicing, continues training, I'm sure that he's going to improve even more and could even break into those higher echelons of Latin American pro players.